んにちは。元気ですか？私はベルスタリアンです。So, um, yeah, I'm doing this again for the people who care. You know, small content creator like us should support each other. You know, but my channel isn't. Well, okay, well, it's not particularly great, but I mean, hey, I've been playing this game since global release. It's been literal 4 years now, so I'm pretty much a veteran. I don't like to, don't mean to toot my own horn or anything like that, but yes, I do this as well. So I only watched like a couple of seconds of this. I'll be cutting it very, very hard. I don't want to say liberally or anything like that because I don't want to like make a whole thing about me trying to steal someone else's content. No. For the people who are watching that aren't on either of our channels, just go to the other people's channels and watch the video before you come watch this one, maybe, because I'm going to be cutting this to the point where I'll only be like making little comments every now and then. Perhaps I don't have the game running in the background because I only watched a couple seconds of it. I don't know if I'll need to go into the game to give advice or anything like that, but we'll see. So let us begin, shall we? You're going to be hearing the audio coming from my speakers and not the recording, so forgive me for that. Let's begin. Also, I noticed that there were two voices in this video, so I'm kind of curious to see how they play off each other and stuff like that. So let us begin.
Oh, I'll play your hair. Oh my goodness. Yo, I forgot my character. I named him Hero. And I don't think I can't join your ward yet because we're still doing like a little tutorial. I just want to play that. Are you ready?
Okay, so the other person, I don't know yet if the other person speaking is like a new-ish player, but when it comes to quote-unquote the tutorial, you've kind of already passed it at this point. All you really need to do is just hit AR 16 and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You literally just need to hit AR 16. You can still technically be in the tutorial when you unlock co-op, which is something some people have done before, which is insane to do. But as a new player, you probably would not do that. You would progress the story and reach AR 16 at a pretty natural progression, I want to say. So you don't have to worry about the tutorial. By the time you reach AR 16, you should know what you're doing at that point. Some people at AR 16 don't know what they're doing, and this is coming from someone who plays co-op a lot. Some people just forget what they were doing. They forget tutorials and elemental reactions and such and so forth. So we'll see.
Be like,
Wait, so
hey, bro.
I'm cooking.
What's up?
Okay, so quick question. How did you guys get into Genshin Impact? Like did you see someone play it? Did you like get recommended from someone, or you just got curious? You like saw it on the you saw it like advertised somewhere, perhaps. You wanted to know what it was about, or maybe you heard bad things about it, or maybe you heard good things about it. I don't know. How did you guys get into Genshin? Because I find it interesting how different people get to play this game. For instance, I didn't know this game existed until about a week after its global release. My friend, who was a beta tester, he was like, hey, come play this game with me. And I looked it up and I was like, this doesn't look like the type of game I would like to play. And I ended up spending an hour after I started trying it just collecting all the shiny things along the map because we only had Moonstadt and Liyue back then, so it was pretty easy to literally just pick up everything within the span of a couple of hours, and I was doing that. So I ended up just playing this game for the ability to hoard stuff, which is funny because other people like the hot woman, other people like the hot men, some people like the combat, some others really like to just look around and take pictures of literally everything. And then there are the mad lads who make challenges out of these games. Anyway, and answer me that next if you happen to if the creators of this this video happen to come and see and watch and listen. How did you get into Genshin? Unless they mention it in this video, in which case you can still elaborate, perhaps, just a little bit. Because you know when you're recording gameplay, your mind is not completely on the connection between your brain and your mouth. So sometimes you might say something and then you forget your train of thought because something happens in the game and then you just never come back to that thought afterwards. So leaving a comment would definitely keep the brain flow a lot more steady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to see what I get.
Okay, I ain't getting nothing good. I got 11.
I got a sword, bro.
Okay, so they're getting into the wishing now, and I don't know why this particular one decided to make a 1 instead of an 8, but we'll see. Also, that's not a sword, that's a claymore, but I don't expect new players to tell the difference just yet. Why do I feel the need to bash every single decision that new players make? Anyway, let's move on. I don't think I'm going to be like I'm cutting this part because I want to see literally everything that happens. We'll see. So apparently they're like y'all are wishing at the same time. Okay, we'll see if you figure it out how the wishing system works.
Hey, sometimes.
Man, this dookie sword, man. You got for this dookie sword, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What the?
Okay, so I noticed what you used up all of your fates there, my dude.
Sword, bro.
You literally used up all of your fates. Oh my gosh. Okay. It could happen, but I am curious as to why you chose this banner instead of this banner, because this is the beginner banner. This is what the game expects you to use your intertwined fates on. Oh wait, hold on. Which one is it? I think it's called intertwined fates. The blue ones are intertwined fates. I tend to get them mixed up every now and then. But you really were supposed to use this banner instead of this one when you're first starting out, because the chances of getting okay, so you see this little 20% off thing? You start off with 10 fates, right? 10 wishes, 10 chances to pull. On this banner, you only need 8. So, you know what? How about I just continue watching and we'll talk about this decision afterwards.
Hey, sometimes.
Your fans, bro.
Y'all are like, you can comment, tell me how to build teams and like such and such. Hey,
Oh, so you want advice on how to build teams, huh? Well, right now, the only two characters you're really going to need when it comes to DPS are the Traveler and Kaya. Amber and Lisa are good for like elemental reactions, but when it comes to like raw DPS, Kaya is your best option. I kid you not, Kaya has the highest scaling attack of all of the four first characters you have, and he can still hold his own pretty well in late game as well. Of course, you can't just play with him alone. You need other characters, but Kaya is a very, very good physical and cryo DPS. So if you put most of your resources into Kaya and Traveler, especially if you happen to be uh, using the wishing system in the way that you are right now, you might not get decent characters that the game would have handed to you, because like I said, in the beginner banner you are expected to pull use 8 of your intertwined fates to pull, and you are guaranteed to get one very specific character that will pretty much carry you for the rest of the game if you want to build her like that. She is a shielder and a healer all in one. And like I said, the game does expect you to pull her at that specific point in time. She is guaranteed on that banner when you pull the first time. But you kind of used up all of your fates, so I don't know how you're gonna get that. I suppose you would have to get lucky if you continue to pull on the standard banner, which is the banner that you were just pulling on with the 3 women on the front. Yeah. Generally speaking, the veterans of this game don't really pull on the standard banner, like, at all. If they're maybe like desperate, they might, but generally speaking, the blue ones, the intertwined fates are not considered valuable once you have used up all of your fates on the standard the beginner banner, and you get Noelle and you get some other random 4-star characters, which by the way can actually like seriously boost your account if you get certain 4-star characters alongside Noelle on the beginner banner, because there are certain 4-star characters that are absolutely busted in early game, and you had a chance to get those, but I'm not saying that you're locked out of them forever, but early game, if you had gotten them, it would have been better. We'll see if you happen to get any more fates from anything else. Although I have to say that you should have probably started like about a month ago when the anniversary was going on, because we had a lot of very, very nice first time anniversary rewards. You could choose I'm pretty sure that event is over right now. You could choose a standard 5-star character, and there was a bunch of like a login rewards and such. Oh well, I mean, everyone starts at different times, so there's that, I suppose. But you could have started like about a month ago, and it would have been a very nice boost to your account. But oh well, you can't reverse time. So let's continue.
perfect level. Oh, 10, 10, 13. Hey,
Okay, so real quick, that little warning that your character party was lower level than it was recommended, it's not like it would stop you from playing it. It's just that the level of the mobs in the domain are not like, they're like significantly higher leveled than the characters that the game sees that you have set at that specific level. So if your characters are higher level, it would not be a problem, but you could still end up losing if you happen to not dodge and all of that nonsense and stuff like that. But the warning ain't there to stop you. Basically, you could play the domain with underlevel characters if you really want to. So there's that.
Easy being cheese.
Okay, something to note really quickly about Kaya is that not only does he eventually gain the ability to heal himself by using his skill, but if you manage to get the constellations for him, C4 actually gives him a shield when he gets hit under a specific amount of HP. But unfortunately, the Amber, Lisa, and Kaya are the hardest characters to get constellations for, if you happen to be trying to get them in the gacha at the very least. There is a in-game shop where you can buy constellations for them, but they rotate like every month or so, and who you get in the shop is, I don't want to say it's random, but you would have to wait for the character that you would want, because you wouldn't have enough currency to get them usually all in one go. So he's a healer, and a good DPS, but only if you reach those levels of let's call it knighthood. I can't think of anything else right now. Let's just continue. The thing's almost over anyway. Okay, so real quick, when it comes to like a group of enemies like this, you would want to use Amber's Baron Bunny so that, and don't like throw it from a distance. Get up real close and then use her Baron Bunny, because the taunt radius of Baron Bunny is actually kind of small, so you would want to get it as close to your enemies as possible. And then when it comes to the Ruin Guard, which is the big gray thing, brown, walking around smacking you all over the place, when it comes to the Ruin Guard, you have to, if you want to take it down faster, you could what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot its eye, the big glowing thing here in the middle. You have to shoot it twice, by the way, with Amber or any archer, and it will sit down and stay still for about 7 seconds or so, and then it would get back up, and then you would have to repeat the process. But it does have a bit of a cooldown where you won't be able to strike its eye anymore. I don't think you figure that out, but just in case you happen to come across another Ruin Guard and you find it difficult, just shoot its eye twice. You could also shoot the eye at the back of it as well, if you can't see its front. But that one's a bit more tricky.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the wishing. Again, I don't have my my game running in the background, but I should be able to explain it a little bit.
Hey, sometimes.
So,
Sword, bro.
everyone will tell you that you should wait to do a 10 pull instead of a 1 pull, because you have like this says, every 10 wishes is guaranteed to include at least 1 4-star, at least 1, and it doesn't have to be a character either. It could be a weapon. Although I think in the beginner banners case, I could be wrong about this, but the only 4-star items that you can get in the in the beginner banner are characters. Again, I could be wrong. It's been a while, right, since I've seen anyone do this, but the beginner banner is specifically for characters. You would want to get certain characters to boost your account as soon as you can. Again, you can play the game completely by itself without needing any other characters other than the 4 that you're giving at the start. Literally, because the Traveler can switch elements. So if you have an elemental monument, like say for instance a Geo Element, a Geo Elemental Monument, or a Hydro Elemental Monument, and none of your characters happen to be those elements, you could go to the Statue of the Seven in the specific region and change your Traveler to that element, and then go back and do the specific puzzle. Although you do in fact get other characters in the game, you don't have to wish for them. The game literally just hands them to you. You get a healer, a Hydro healer. You get another archer, a Dendro archer, and a Pyro pole arm user. But you would need to kind of go out of your way to get those 2 characters, because it's called the Spiral Abyss. You don't technically need them in the long run, because like I said, again, Traveler can change its element to, as of right now, all of them except for Pyro. And well, when it comes to Electro, you need to be at least AR 32 to get to the region where you can switch your Traveler to Electro. But other than that, everything in the game is literally fair game. You could play all of the game with just the 4 characters that you have right there. Also, I do believe that eventually the game will literally just hand you another animal character. Another animal sword user, I believe. She just literally just pops up in the event tab. And as you progress through the story, you'll also receive a Geo Polearm user. But you would need to get pretty far into the story for that one. Regardless, this game is not like stingy on handing you characters in the long run. You still get characters as you play. So, when I say hand you the characters, I mean like literally would shove them into your party if you happen to have an open slot. So there's that. You can't get away from it, basically. So it is nice that the game will hand you more characters as you continue playing and such and so forth. And the Hydro healer that the game, again, forces upon you, but is also pretty good. She is one of the better healers in this game. So she's also memed on a lot, but whatever. This video is getting long, isn't it? Alright, so that's all I have to say. Try to save up your blue wishes and use them on the beginner banner, the one that has Noelle's face on it, because it really does help to have Noelle, specifically Noelle. Her shield is very good early game. I switched her, I used someone else pretty early on because I happened to get one of the best shielders in this game. He's a 5-star character, and as of right now, you might not be able to get him. He is coming in the latter half of this patch. His name is Zhongli. His shield lasts 20 seconds, while Noelle's shield only lasts 12. And her skill cooldown is unfortunately pretty atrocious. So I switched her out as soon as I got Zhongli. Like I said, I've been playing this game for 4 years, and when I started playing, he was like what the third 5-star character that was featured, and or it could be the fourth. I don't know. I can't remember if Child came before him. But his shield is like significantly better, and on top of that, I also used to use food instead of healing characters, so I didn't really need Noelle. However, I noticed that you're not really using food, or at least I didn't see you using food, so you might want to get Noelle as soon as possible. But considering that you used up all of your fates, I don't know how long it is going to take you to get those back. Now, as for the other banners, these two, and by extension the weapon banner, they use acquaint fates. No, I'm using the wrong word for these things, aren't I? Okay, the pink ones. You see how this one is blue? You use the pink ones for these banners, right? If you want to spend your money on this game, or if you don't want to spend your money on this game, don't pull on the weapon banner for any reason. It is a huge scam, and you're going to actually have to spend quite a significant amount of money if you happen to want to spend money. If you want a specific weapon for this banner, you don't need the 5-star weapons, okay? You don't need them. You literally don't. Now, as for the other two characters, this one is called Chaska and the other one is called Linny. It really depends on whether or not you would want to pull on these banners. Again, the pool of characters and weapons that you can get are pretty much identical to the standard banner, which is this one, except that you have a higher chance of pulling the characters that are featured on the banner as opposed to the standard banner. Let's see, you have one girl here and you have one guy here. Yeah. That's basically the selling point of these specific banners. If you pull on that specific banner, you're more likely to get that character. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible because there's a lot more nuance to the wishing system than just this. But I'm leaving it flatline as is. If you want that specific character, pull on that banner. Except for the standard banner. You will only get standard 5-star characters that you will actually almost 50% of the time perhaps get on the other banners. These two banners. Like I said, the wishing system is a lot more nuanced than this. But if you want Chaska or you want Linny, or later down the road, if you want any of the 5 stars that are featured on these banners, pull on their banners, except for the standard banner. Except for the standard banner. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was informative or interesting. I don't know. So if you want any more advice or anything like that, I'll be watching out for any more videos. So, je ne